Jeong Do-jeon, also known as Sambong, was an important scholar and government official during the late Goryeo and early Joseon Dynasty periods. He was the principal architect of the newly founded Joseon Dynasty's ideology, institutions, and legal foundation. He was Joseon's first chief state counselor from 1392 until his death in 1398. Jeong Do-jeon was born in 1342 in Yeongju from a noble family, the Bonghwa-jong clan. His family had slowly risen from commoner status over several decades until his father became a high-ranking state official. His mother's background, though, was from the nobi, slave class. Jeong Do-jeon was a disciple of Yi Seong-gye, also known as Poeun, who, along An Hyang, played a crucial role in introducing Neo-Confucianism to Goryeo. Jeong Do-jeon became a student of Yi Jae-hyun, a powerful Goryeo politician, scholar, artist, and father of royal consort Hye-bi, the third wife of King Gongmin of Goryeo. Jeong Do-jeon studied with Jeong Mong-ju, aka Poeun, a major political figure opposed to the foundation of the Joseon Dynasty. Jeong Do-jeon viewed Buddhism as harmful to the national economy and destroying people's livelihood. Buddhist temples were tax-exempt, and some monks became progressively more corrupt and too powerful. Monks could not be requisitioned for mandatory labor. He thought that talking about the afterlife was a waste, and people should instead work on making their current lives better and work to improve society. He wrote a treatise which can be translated as Buddha's Nonsense or Critiques of Buddhism, in which he refutes Buddhism using arguments that many Neo-Confucian scholars have been saying for decades. Chu Ji was a key figure in the development of Neo-Confucianism in China. Neo-Confucianism is a reaction to Confucianism, incorporating too many ideas from Buddhism and Taoism throughout the Zhou and Han dynasties. It was developed during the Song dynasty. It sought to revive classical Confucian ideals and put them in line with the social values of the times. It rejected superstitious and mystical elements. It placed more emphasis on the ultimate reality of this world and the development of the self within a social context. Gender roles were reasserted as well. Neo-Confucianism sought to create individuals who were virtuous and contributed to the advancement of society while understanding one's place in the cosmic order. There were momentous changes in China during Jeong Do-jeon's life. The Yuan dynasty was replaced by the Ming dynasty in 1368. Yuan still existed in the northern part of China and was called the Northern Yuan Empire. Yuan still had support in the Goryeo court. Jeong Do-jeon was pro-Ming, and because of this, he was exiled for a couple of years for speaking favorably about Ming. Jeong Do-jeon met Yi Seong-gye, future King Taejo, founder of Joseon, in 1383. Yi Seong-gye became a hero after subduing Japanese pirates and Jurchen tribes. Yi Seong-gye was, like Jeong Do-jeon, pro-Ming dynasty. King Wu, son of King Gongmin, was the ruler at the time. He was put on the throne by a pro-Yuan and anti-Ming supporter called Yi In-im. In 1388, Yi Seong-gye, who was ordered to attack Ming armies in the Liaodong Peninsula, turned back and took control of the government, removing King Wu. He placed a 9-year-old King Chang on the throne. Yi Seong-gye killed former King Wu and his son King Chang in 1389. Yi Seong-gye then placed King Gongyang on the throne. After the assassination of Jeong Mong-ju, the last supporter of Goryeo, King Gongyang was deposed and Yi Seong-gye became Taejo, the first king of the Joseon Dynasty, in 1392. I have made a video on Jeong Mong-ju on my channel, which I invite you to watch if you want to know more about this key figure in Korean history. That same year of 1392, Yi Seong-gye would appoint Jeong Do-jeon as chief state counselor. Jeong Do-jeon was entrusted with all the power he needed to establish a new dynasty. Little did they know that all decisions taken this early would be the foundation for a dynasty that would last over 500 years. Jeong Do-jeon decided all policies related to the military, foreign affairs, education, and taxation. He changed Goryeo's feudal political system to a more centralized bureaucracy. Neo-Confucianism became state religion, replacing Buddhism. The capital was moved to Hanyang, present-day Seoul, from Kaesong in 1394. He established Joseon's first code of laws. Jeong Do-jeon decided the names of the provinces, the name of the new palaces built, and the name of the districts in the capital. He initiated new land reforms. By confiscating land from important noble families, Jeong Do-jeon thought that the new owners would become supporters of any regime change. Moreover, agricultural productivity was lacking by the end of Goryeo, and Jeong Do-jeon wanted to improve that by allocating land to actual farmers who knew what they were doing. Jeong Do-jeon also eliminated all opposition to the newly founded dynasty. He also went to Ming, China, and received approval and legitimacy for the foundation of Joseon from the Ming Emperor. It is said that the idea of calling the newly built kingdom Joseon came from the Ming Emperor. Jeong Do-jeon accumulated all kinds of titles in only the first year of Joseon. He was, without any doubt, Joseon's second in command. He led the compilation of many books, a book on the history of Goryeo, books on the achievements of Korean and Chinese rulers, and books on how to be a good ruler and a good government official. His theory of governance can be found in Joseon Gyeonggukjeon and Gyeongjaemungam. He also worked on abolishing private armies and transferring their command to the state. Jeong Do-jeon affirmed that a ruler can be replaced if he stops ruling for the good of his people and thus losing public support. This is like the Chinese idea of gaining and losing the mandate of heaven, gaining legitimacy by acting benevolently towards the people. Jeong Do-jeon divided society into three classes: a large lower class of farmers and craftsmen, a middle class of scholars, and a small upper class of government officials. Anybody else, like Buddhist monks, shamans, and entertainers like the Kiseng, are considered a threat to the good working of society. But not all was well for Jeong Do-jeon. Yi Bang-won, Yi Seong-gye's fifth son, was expected to be his father's successor. He was, amongst his brothers, the one that helped his father's rise to power the most. Yi Bang-won was also the most politically ambitious out of all Yi Seong-gye's sons. Jeong Do-jeon convinced Taejo to appoint his eighth son, Yi Bang-seok, as a crown prince. Jeong Do-jeon was immediately put in charge of Yi Bang-seok's education. Yi Bang-won was a big proponent of absolute monarchy, while Jeong Do-jeon wanted a kingdom led by ministers, with a king acting as a symbolic figure. Joseon would have a strong centralized bureaucracy where officials were dispatched to each region, compared to Goryeo's feudal state system that recognized local power. Queen Shindok, the second wife of Taejo, died suddenly in 1396. 2 years later, in 1398, Yi Bang-won raided the palace and killed Queen Shindok's two sons, including the crown prince. He also killed Jeong Do-jeon, two of his sons, and many of his supporters. Yi Seong-gye abdicated and put his second son, Yi Bang-gwa, on the throne as King Gyeongjong. This event is remembered as the first rebellion of princes. Gyeongjong would later abdicate in favor of his younger brother, Yi Bang-won, who would rule Joseon as King Taejong from 1400 to 1418. From his death until Go-jong's reign, Jeong Do-jeon would be criticized as a betrayer of the Goryeo dynasty and a greedy man who wanted power for himself. He would be seen for centuries as a treacherous and insidious villain. Taejong had to build a villain to justify fratricide and the brutal ways in which he ascended the throne. Let us not forget that Taejong also killed Jeong Mong-ju. Jeong Do-jeon was instrumental in creating Joseon and did not deserve to be remembered like he was for centuries. Jeong Do-jeon's remains have never been found. He was recognized by King Gojong in 1865 and was given the posthumous name of Munhon. Gojong built a shrine in Yangsong-hyun in the city of Pyeongtaek, where Jeong Do-jeon descendants lived. Gojong recognized that Jeong Do-jeon helped build the Joseon Dynasty, its institutions and laws. The TV series titled Jeong Do-jeon was made about his life. The story starts in the year 1374, during the final year of King Gongmin's reign. The series was released in 2014 and had 50 episodes. It was produced by KBS. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more videos on the rich history of Korea.
제 참여자 우고 불평시